Julian Ruck, 1423 Lapeer Avenue, Polly's Place. People are mad. And ask yourself, do we have a right to be? 1 in 4 people in poverty, over half struggling paycheck to paycheck, because there's no opportunity here. None. And when you say things this mayor has said on repeat, ad nauseum, well, you can lead a horse to water. They can pull themselves up by their bootstraps. People don't want to work anymore. This same mantra that allows some of you to just stop thinking after that. James Freed comes up here and says there's a worker shortage. What are we going to do? Are people vaporizing and disappearing? Or are they just finding better jobs? There's a teenager I've taught how to garden the past few years. I call him Cash Money because he's always thinking about, what's the value here and how long does it take to grow that? He's a hustler. And in the past few years, I have indicators that he'd be hustling other things if I hadn't taught him how to hustle legal things. And he's right now making $400 or $500 a month selling apps on his phone as a 15, 16-year-old. Why would he go wash dishes somewhere? Why would he go work for $12 an hour? You treat the people of this community like garbage, with rare exception. I want everyone in this room to know those rare exceptions are Councilmember Haremza, Councilmember Ashford, and Councilmember Lamb. And that's it. You didn't know Port Huron is one of the most impoverished cities in the country? I had to tell that to both of you. You just didn't know. And you're on the Child Abuse and Neglect Council. Where do you think child abuse comes from? Poverty. And how do you deal with poverty? You lift people up, you give them options and opportunity. And as people in this community are pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, like somebody who bought an ignored vacant lot for $6,000 and started feeding the whole community, you go, no, not like that. We didn't mean pick yourself up by your bootstraps like that. Do you guys know that dehydrated kale powder sells for $1 an ounce? And you can dehydrate it at home and sell it cottage law, and you can make up to $25,000 a year from home dehydrating kale powder? Did you know that I can't stop growing kale? It's all over the place in the garden? That this entire city could be a global producer of kale powder, which has supposed to increase $100 million globally per year in the next handful of years? That's just one little sliver of opportunity you're keeping from people by putting your boot on my neck. And for what? Because I dared to say James Freed is total garbage at his job, which at this point, I think we all know. So shoot the messenger. I'm currently growing and giving away more produce than any other individual in town. And you are giving variances to the South Side garden that's much less effective, that I've been asking for since September of 2020, David, when I approached the Planning Commission. And I don't get them, though we're far exceeding them in production value. We got to get this figured out. Yes? We're going to figure it out?